How do you improve your skills as a CCW holder? Competition shooting might be the answer for you. You might have some fun, too.
But first, PRMI Mortgage, primeres.com/Alpine. Are you in the military? Are you looking for help for a VA loan? Well, if you're looking to buy or refi, or if you're considering a reverse mortgage, call our local mortgage guy that you can trust. Call Chris Wiley at PRMI Mortgage. For nearly 25 years, Chris has been helping local San Diegans with all their mortgage needs. Call Chris Wiley, 619-722-1303, or just go to primeres.com/Alpine. What do you got, Joe?
All right. Got a subject. So
I bet you do.
Concealed carry and competitive shooting. So, yeah, usually I have an article, but I'm changing things up a bit here because I write a lot of articles. Most of them get published in the on our website, but some of them are less appropriate for there. So I publish everything on my getagrip.substack.com for anybody that's interested in that. But when I don't have an article actually to talk about, I'll have a subject to talk about, which is what I got today. So concealed carry and competitive shooting. So a lot of people are carrying nowadays. We're very fortunate, thanks to San Diego County Gun Owners and all the people that supported that. So we get a chance to do that now. And I think we're going to go, we should go over 6,000 actually concealed carry licenses here at the end of the year.
Wow. That's awesome.
That's nice. Yeah. The last 2 months they've issued over 200. So if that keeps up this time, we should go over 6,000, which is fantastic. But, a lot of them teaching this stuff now, a lot of the people that come in the class, it's interesting that they've gone through and they've gone through the process. They're getting their concealed carry, but they don't necessarily do a lot of training. And, it's hard. We were talking about that in here a few weeks ago when Chris Chang was in here and Ursula. And we were talking about, sometimes the state requires training and this and that. But, the state can only do so much, and you require a class, and that's not really training. And, I try to encourage people to do that. And when we're teaching, I always try to encourage people to, at least get to the range, at least take a couple of classes every year and try to build on the stuff that you learn. And, I don't have any solid numbers. I don't have a good way to confirm, how many of them do, how many of them don't. But I'm guessing a big chunk of them don't. And one of the ways I try to encourage people to do this is with a competitive shooting. And one of the things, I guess, when you're going to carry a handgun every day, and one of the thing I talk to people about is you got to get used to that. You're carrying a loaded firearm, you're handling it every day, so you got to get comfortable with it. One of the good, fun ways to get comfortable with it is through competitive shooting. And I was doing this pretty much every weekend, I guess, for a couple of years up until the COVID stuff started. And that kind of disrupted everything. And now between the things that happened with COVID and some changes in my schedule, I kind of dropped out of it for the last year and a half. And now some other things have happened and the schedule's moved around a bit, and I'll be back into it starting in January.
Nice.
So thought I would talk about this out here. And, I try to encourage people to try it out because when you talk about competitive shooting, I think some people they form an opinion on it, you form this picture of what you think it might be. And I think a lot of the time, the picture that gets formed is a bunch of, 25-year-old guys running around shooting and tearing everything up. And it's not really that way at all. There's certainly that, but there's people from all ages. We have, teenagers. I don't know if you guys remember Dave DeZan. He's been on. I think he's called in a couple of times.
Yeah.
He's real big at the Linea de Fuego Club. His son David is just a tremendous shooter, and it helps to have a dad that's a master shooter. But David is just fantastic, and I think David's I want to say he's 14 now, maybe pushing 15, but really good. But we have people at that age, all the way up to people in their 70s probably that shoot. John Hurst is another one I think John's 74, and just a tremendous shooter. And, so it's a lot of fun. The thing where it benefits, I think, concealed carry people is that, you need to know how your gun operates, and you need to be real comfortable with it. we'll see this in the class going through just the state required qualification. And most people do okay, but there's some people that struggle with it. And there's people that aren't, you could see they're not real comfortable with the gun. They're not real sure. The safety's on. Ooh, I didn't know the safety was on. Not sure what to do with the decocker. You'll see them holstering, and it's just, it's not a real natural thing. You can tell they don't do it a whole lot. Part of the qualification is shooting left-handed, then shooting right-handed. And you could tell when people that don't do that. And, as a concealed carrier, if you ever have to use the gun, which from our last guest on here was saying that, that happens a lot. Not that they actually have to fire it, but I mean, again, if you do have to pull it out, you need to be comfortable with it. So one of the things I think that you get from competitive shooting is you start to get comfortable. You learn how your gun works. The thing that we don't, it's interesting in the qualification class that the state requires, one of the things that we don't talk about are malfunctions, and we don't practice malfunctions. And malfunctions are not that uncommon, especially, if you're using a semi-auto handgun. And if you could imagine being in a self-defense incident where I'm guessing you'll be really stressed out, you may be a little bit nervous. If your grip is not that, not exactly right, it's easy to induce a malfunction. If you never practice clearing the malfunction, you're not really familiar with it, that's a bad thing. And by shooting, in the competitive shooting, you'll get to do that, unless you shoot a Glock like I do. But for people that shoot other guns, you'll get to practice malfunctions and clearing malfunctions under time pressure, and that's really good. I think it's really useful for people that are carrying concealed. And there's different ways, like I shoot USPSA matches with the Linea de Fuego Club, and you can find all these online. And, they shoot a couple of times a month. There's a number of other clubs and ranges and places where they have matches out here. The USPSA thing, which is what I started in, which is a lot of fun, I think. And it's a little more of a game, a little more competition. The other big group is the IDPA group, the Defensive Pistol Association. And they do it more with a kind of more being practical, I guess, in terms of things you might actually have to do as a concealed carrier, say in a self-defense incident. And I know, Michael, you shot that years ago, didn't you? The IDPA stuff?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, it was kind of a watered-down IDPA. It wasn't strict IDPA rules, but the idea was to make it as accurate as possible. Kind of take the gaming part of it out, or the I guess the game part, And
yeah, and I think both are good. I think because with the USPSA, typically the matches we shoot, there's 6 stages. There's steel targets, there's silhouette targets. You'll be shooting from different positions. You've got to move and shoot and reload and do a lot of stuff. I've never shot IDPA, but the IDPA guys shoot with us sometimes, so I've watched the matches. And they focus a little bit more on shooting from cover and doing reloads behind cover and things like that, where we don't do that so much in the USPSA side. You're doing reloads, you're doing it under time pressure, you're doing it really fast. But there's no requirement to stand behind cover when you do it. But either one of them is great. I think these are great, fun ways for people to actually train, learn a little bit, get really familiar with their handguns, and have a lot of fun doing it. So I always encourage people to do that kind of stuff.
Thanks for watching this clip from Gun Owners Radio. You can watch us live every Sunday from 4 to 6 p.m. California time, right here on our YouTube channel, or if you're in the San Diego area, you can listen to us on 1170 a.m. We're also available on your favorite podcast platform for free. Don't forget to like and subscribe so that you can help restore and protect the Second Amendment, not just in California, but across the country.